The Journey is a digital online documentary project, and it's about documenting and inspiring individuals that are creating solutions to environmental, economic and social problems. So they're in their own way finding sustainable solutions to things that are going on in their community. I guess I have a big interest, a big passion for sustainability myself, and I started by, was really inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. I was reading a lot about him, and he said in one of his quotes, be the change that you want to be in the world. And that really kind of got me thinking about what I could do within my work that could somehow be of benefit to others. And with the interest in sustainability, I set about to create a project that documented people who are being just that, being the change they wanted to see in the world. It took me a lot of places. I started in London, where I was currently working freelance, and so I quit my freelance career and got a bicycle because I wanted to travel sustainably to these places, and got a little trailer, packed all my stuff out, and the first leg of the journey was travelling from London to Bristol. I had 40 kilos of camera gear and a small amount of possessions in the back of my trailer, and yeah, it took 4 days for me to go from London to Bristol, which I think is about 80 kilometres, but it was along really narrow canal paths and things like that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And from there, I volunteered in a house for 3 months, where in return for me volunteering, I got free board, and that allowed me to work on my project. And so I documented a lot of people in Bristol during that time, from gardening projects to recycled wood projects to other projects that were all about recycling bicycle parts. And from there, I went from Bristol up to Wales, travelled all through Wales to different kind of communal communities that were discovering how to live off the grid and exploring different kind of methods, I guess, with their economy. So they weren't necessarily going and working out in society, but their work was translated to the community, where they all took on different roles, and they all took on different roles of making the community run. So some people would be in the garden, some people would be building. It was quite inspiring to see that different lifestyle. But yeah, I went around from Wales to Scotland and to France. So yeah, there was 12 different projects all up. I ended up feeling quite strongly about all of them, and you develop a lot of friendships with the people too. I guess the ones that stand out the most though would be Findhorn, which is an eco-village in Scotland, and that has 200 people there, and they live in all sorts of strange contraptions, from wine barrels to straw bale buildings, and some have teepees. And it's a really inspiring story because it started at such a grassroots level. It was an airstrip that a couple came and decided to make into an eco-village, so it's not the most easy place to do so. And they plonked down a caravan and just began, and people started coming, and 30 years later it's this beautiful place that's self-sufficient and has geothermal technology. It has 2 wind turbines. It has the most massive garden, which they supply all the food to the village, and they also then supply the rest of the surrounding suburbs fruit and veg too. So it's just a really great example of people living harmoniously, sustainably, and also very vibrantly. It's so exciting that we have the potential to not be controlled by outside influences, outside companies, that we have the power and the technology to be able to create sustainable communities for ourselves, and a sustainable future. It's not just about the power of one, it's about the power of one and the power of community together, and what can be created through that and through good intentions and great ideas. You know, that I think that's how we'll start to, in small little bits, small steps, solve big world problems. Generally, sometimes sustainability can just be seen as having an environmental perspective on things, and it's so not. It really encompasses everything we do. So, you know, down to the way that our society treats each other. It's having strong humanitarian views, strong environmental views, and also like a mutual respect for the world. So I think that's some of the core values that each of these projects have. These people have been real eco-pioneers because they have been really quite brave in kind of going against the flow. But I guess that's what needs to be done. Things aren't working at the moment, and people need to try new things, and people need to embrace change and stop being scared by the negative side of what change may bring, because there's all this beauty and there's the positive things that we could achieve if we just let go of some of those older beliefs.